Proceed with the broadcast.
I've been looking forward to this.
Well, hello there. Welcome to our first Mando chat. Don't have a name for it. We never had a name for the Mandalorian streams. We had the chat batch. What was the Boba Fett one? I can't remember. But anyway, welcome. I'm Jamie. It says so on the screen. It's true. And I hope you are doing well. We are here today to discuss The Mandalorian Chapter 17 with spoilers and all. If you're here live, I know some of you are, then join in the live chat. If you're watching on the replay, aka in the future, drop us a comment. Let me know what you thought of this Mandalorian episode. First of all, an apology. For so many things, but specifically on this occasion, I'm going to apologize for not having any of the branding up because I didn't sort out my subscription in time. So we're on the basic account still with StreamYard, but I'll try and get that all sorted for next time. Also, I will be continuing the batches of Bad Batch episode reviews. So don't think just because Mando started now, I've forgotten about the Bad Batch. Still got to catch up on the last couple. So yeah, I'll be doing another batch of, say, 4 with Chad soon for you. But today is all about The Mandalorian. Good to have it back. Also good to have Chad the Stopwatch Campbell back in his rightful place of timekeeping. He has waited a long time for this moment. And I did see a 30-minute. Yeah, there we go. 30 minutes remaining. So we'll try and do a 30-minute stream. Chad's here to help me fail. Hello to Gaz Nottingham, who was the first here with the first hello there of the evening as well. Peter's here. Glenn's here. Powdroy Girl's here as well. Leona. Who else is here? Jane Flakes is also here, as is Clays. Hope you're doing well, all of you. And Chad, as I mentioned, is here. And I think that's it. I think that's it for now, or at least those who are being public with their presence. Anders Lay is here as well. Hope you're doing well, Anders. And also David McKay. And I am hearing this. That this week's Bad Batch was a good one. Hello to Rob H as well. I've also heard a few, including I think it was Powder Girl, saying that they actually preferred the Bad Batch this week to the Mando this week. Let's talk Mando. Let me give you some of my thoughts, and then I'm going to come over to the chat. So keep your thoughts coming in at the same time, please. So let's get started. But first of all, before I do, now I can officially get started because Mr. Matthew Stokes is in the house, everybody. All right. So this is chapter 17. There will be spoilers now. Spoilerish, I guess. First of all, it opened with a recap. Quite a short recap, considering there was 2 seasons to cover. And this recap seemed to mostly focus on Din having removed his helmet willingly and now being an outcast on a quest for redemption, which is one of the main plot drivers, it would seem, for this series now that baby Grogu's been dealt with. Speaking of which, there was nothing about Grogu going back to Din in this recap. The big finale of season 2, them being separated as he got cradled off with Luke. None of that was addressed. The fact that he's all of a sudden back with Din. Of course, this was all explained, resolved in the Book of Boba Fett. But of course, not everybody watched the Book of Boba Fett. I guess there was a few gaps left to fill in for maybe a few heads being scratched for those who hadn't seen the Book of Boba Fett. By the way, and I don't know if this is true, but apparently Jon Favreau said in an interview that Grogu was with Luke training for 2 years. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if he definitely said that. Somebody said that he said that in an interview. I don't know. It doesn't feel like that anyway. There wasn't many hints of it being that long, of them being together or Din and Grogu being apart. But the fact that they were reunited did get touched upon. It did get kind of explained in the actual episode after the recap, as far as somehow he returned to me in conversation with Grief Karga on the new look Navarro. This episode actually confused me to begin with. It opened with the armorer crafting a new helmet on a beachfront for a ceremony to welcome a young Mando lad into the Creed who can't remove their helmets, of course. And then there's like a sea dinosaur. The Mandalorian has its Jurassic World moment before Din comes and saves the day. Now, even though the kid looks nothing like Pedro Pascal. I still thought that it was a flashback. I thought it was a younger Din until Din's souped up Naboo starfighter appeared. That was. So I don't know if that was just me. I'm an idiot. But it was a cool scene. Not sure why they didn't just all use their jetpacks to jetpack away from the dinosaur lizard thing and save the kid, of course, in the process. But still, a cool scene. Some good action there as well. Din then has a conversation with the armorer, which I think they both, or she certainly, kind of exactly repeats word for word their last conversation, which would have been in the Book of Boba Fett, that he's a disgrace and a Mando no more. But this, I guess, was to get everybody back up to speed and on the same page. And there was a lot of scene setting in this episode, actually. So Mando has to bathe, that's the word, isn't it, in the waters of the mines or something on Mandalore, right? And then he'll be accepted back. This is the way and the journey that he has to go on. So yeah, then he goes to Navarro, which looked great, really fun, plenty to look at. Aliens, we had the Salacious B. Crumb type alien, IG-11 in statue form, and then coming back to life form after his very noble death. No need for that, really. Greef Karga, of course. We also later meet Bo-Katan, who I think it's fair to say now is a questionable character. She's very dejected, but also with some malice in there as well. So is she just Luke in The Last Jedi, or is she an enemy now? So yeah, I think we're going to find out a lot more about that in the coming episodes. But yeah, this was a short episode. A lot of setup, like I said before, well-paced, really well-paced, actually, and some decent action. I thought it was really engaging. And there was lots of jumping back and forth, which made it feel almost bigger than some of the Mandalorian in the past, because often we're just in one place with Mando. So yeah, I think this was just Star Wars going back to simple, fun, safe storytelling, and also at its weirdest best. Like you had that little droid holding up Greef Karga's cloak as he took the steps to greet Mando. Grogu force spinning the chair, which was released in the clip, wasn't it, before? Also, Grogu trying to hug or possibly kidnap, maybe even eat Babu Frick was very funny. I assume that was Babu Frick. I don't know the species name, to be honest. So I'm going with Babu Frick, but one of them definitely sounded like Babu from Troz. But yeah, I mean, I loved Andor, which doesn't feel that long ago now. It's great that we've got so much Star Wars back to back with the Bad Batch running alongside as well. I did love Andor, and I look forward to Andor coming back. But at the same time, it is good to have this type of lighter, dare I say, cornier Star Wars back in our lives. Now, that's using your head. That was terrible, that line. But overall, a good opener. Maybe the weakest opener of the 3 Mando openers for me. But I'm definitely fully on board to see what's to come. And I'm going to head over to the chat. But before I do, actually, speaking of speaking of Andor, after the movie-like production values of Mando, I kind of thought my eyes were going to be a little bit, feel a bit cheated by Mando, going back to a show that's predominantly shot in the volume, which really did, for me anyway, show its kind of limitations with Kenobi and Book of Boba Fett. But actually, I thought this looked great. This did not, to me at least, did not look cheap. Obviously, very different to Andor, being filmed on big movie sets, Pinewood, and also on locations as well. But yeah, anyway, I'm popping over to the chat to see what's going on. I can see anger from Chad here. It was not Babu Frick. Different planet. I know it's a different planet, but he could move around, couldn't he? I don't know. They sounded the same anyway. Right, I've got to scroll back up to where I was before. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that they preferred this week's Bad Batch to this week's Mando, David being one of them, Jane Flakes being another, I think. Yeah, agree. Bad Batch was fab. Mando seemed to ease off the throttle from the middle onwards. I don't know. I thought it was a really well-paced episode. I did used to have, like, Man's Yo, didn't I? No, I did, Chad. I mean, I'll let you have the glory here, but I did used to do this, didn't I? Man's Yo, Man's... Oh, yeah. No. but there was no Mando. I think it was Mando. But I think that's when I did like pre-recorded reviews. But anyway, you can have the glory, and yeah, we can do that. Is it a Mando or yo? Mando? No. Dave Milano's here, everybody. Welcome, Dave Milano. Hope you're doing well. And hello to Oppo Rancisis. Oppo Rancisis, always a pleasure to have a member of the Jedi Council present. Just to say, I have got your email. It came through a very busy time for me. And I'm not the best at emails, even at like not so busy times, but it's like saved, it's marked, and I will reply to you. I promise. So thank you for that. Peter says, am I the only one who was hoping for a little less Grogu milking? I think that's here to stay, mate. That's all part of it. Milking of Grogu. Yeah. When you put it that way, I think we did have too much of it in that way of saying it, at least. Okay, Jane Flakes, in regards to Jon Favreau apparently saying Grogu was with Luke for 2 years. Jane Flake says, I saw that interview. The time frame does feel weirdly short for 2 years. Yeah, because when we got reintroduced to Din in the Book of Boba Fett, the book of Din's 2 episodes anyway, he was like moping around, wasn't he? Missing Grogu. It was like this was still quite a recent thing. It felt like. Certainly did not feel like 2 years. And David also heard Favreau say something like that. So perhaps it is true. Be cool to have that fleshed out a bit. Maybe they will. Maybe there'll be some flashbacks. I don't know. Well, we know there will be some flashbacks of Order 66, I think. That was in one of the trailers, right? Yeah, good, interesting thing to bring up from Power Draw Girl here. I like the diplomatic way they explain Cara Dune's absence and still manage to lay groundwork for Rangers of the Republic if they ever get to make it. Yeah, probably a big if, but I agree. It was definitely a diplomatic way. It would have been very strange if they just ignored it. And, this may have been their plan all along. Not to fire her, but I mean to actually have her off the grid, if you like, for Mando to set the groundwork, as you said there, Leona, for that series, which is currently shelved. But yeah, I think they dealt with that pretty well. Chad also heard the 2-year thing. This is the 2-year thing about how long Grogu was away from Din training with Luke. Chad says, I did hear that 2-year thing. It could be true. I find it weird that 2 years went that fast. It seemed like very little progress happened in those years. Yeah, massively little progress. What else? I'm seeing some more Milk and Grogu stuff. I'm moving on. Gaz Nottingham, the viewership of 4 Book of Boba Fett exceeded Mandalorian season 2. I think we all watched it. Yeah, no, we definitely all did, but I definitely know. And I remember saying this at the time. I know I'm not the first and I won't be the last. And we definitely need to forget about this and move on, including Milk and Grogu too. But I have a lot of casual-ish Star Wars fans, and they did not watch Book of Boba Fett. I know a lot of people who will be here for Mando season 3 that did not watch Book of Boba Fett, but of course we all did. Who's going to stop us? But yeah, I think we have to just get over it. It was probably, in my opinion, not a great decision by, I assume, Favreau. But yeah, we have to move on now. There's still a lot to love. Oh, good. I wasn't the only idiot. Glenn was one as well. Glenn also thought it was a flashback with some serious whitewashing of young Din. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it would even make sense with some of the Mandalorians that were around then, but I absolutely was sucked into thinking that was a flashback of Din until the Naboo fighter appeared. I'm still seeing more Milk and Grogu. Can we stop it, please, man? Matthew Stokes says, Mando season 2 aired late 2020. We're now in 2023. So 2 years in the story, 2 years in reality. Yeah, true. But not much was done on it. But then again, Luke spent a lot longer with Yoda on Dagobah that we did not see in Empire. We can't see it all, can we? People can't stop mentioning it either, can they? Which means I can't stop reading it, speaking about it, and thinking about it as well. Yeah, that's the name of the Kowakian monkey lizards. That's the Salacious bee crumb species, right? Chad says Bo-Katan is also apparently just hanging out on a throne by herself in the dark. Weird life choices. Yeah. What choices is she going to make next? There's a lot of malice in her voice as she bid Din farewell. I feel like she knows something about what she's sending him into. Is she going to appear or hoping to appear afterwards to scoop up the Darksaber from his dead body. I don't know. I feel like she's up to no good. I feel like she's got a nasty plan, and I hope you're not involved at all, Chad. What else? Gaz Nottingham says, I thought the makeup prosthetics for the pirate vein was the best yet. Yeah. Do you mean the like the pirate captain of the ship? Or like his cronies? I don't know a species name for the captain of like seaweed face. I don't know if there's a species name for him yet, but I thought he was great. He was very cliche, but great. And I hope we see more of him. Space Whales. Yeah. So I've seen a lot of Rebels love for the Space Whales. Pugils getting their feature. As you know, Rebels is a work in progress for me. So I've also seen people predicting that this could be the first hint of more to come, perhaps within Mando itself, involving Ezra, Thrawn. Where else? Okay, now I'm at the angry Chad message about it not being Babu Frick. Okay, there's the name of the species of Babu Frick, Anzellan, I think. Chad backpedaling now. Though, to be fair, we don't have a ton of backstory on Babu, so maybe they flew to another planet. And Zellen's other species name. Yeah, and here's Jane in regards to a possible link to Ahsoka and Rebels with the Purgils, Space Whales. Okay, this could be more or less confirmation that it was Babu Frick, Chad, to take that angry message back. Shirley Henderson, who played Babu Frick in Troz, played the alien. Oh, all of them in this week's Mando. Okay, for all of them, then maybe that's not a confirmation. Right. Power Draw Girl says, I laugh, but you're probably being serious. Yes, the Purgils were on a par with Luke showing up for me. Chad says someone made a good comparison. Going from Andor to the Mandalorian is like going from Dune to Stargate Atlantis, and there's nothing wrong with that, Mando. And Clay says it was a good paced fun premiere. I agree. It was definitely good fun, and I really enjoyed the pacing. And Glenn did enjoy the crocodile thing that attacked the Mandos on the beach. We've had 2 beach planets recently then in Star Wars, haven't we? Right. I am going to read out Rob's message here. Rob says, I was hoping we were done with season 2's video game side quest version of episodic storytelling. Yeah, I've complained about that in the past. So in some ways I could say, and I am about to say, in some ways this episode represented the best of The Mandalorian for me and also the worst of it, but the worst not being a particularly bad thing. And that is those sort of video gamey side questy things. But I'm going to give this one the benefit of the doubt because I feel like there was just a lot of scene setting in this episode, and it moved about a lot more than the Mandalorian episodes have in the past in terms of location to location and characters and what have you. So I'm going to give this one the benefit of the doubt, but I don't not agree with you, Rob. Recast Cara Dune, please. I don't think they need to do that. I think they've done it pretty well. And if there's ever like a coming back together between the two parties involved, they can do that. I'm not into recasting unless you have to. And maybe they do have to eventually, but who knows? I don't miss the character, to be honest. We're only 1 episode in. Ask me again at the end, but not my favorite character anyway, to be honest, but an integral-ish part of this series so far. Okay, David Milano, if memory serves, the rating scale was, and this is top to bottom, Mando, Man So-So. I don't remember Man So-So and Man No. Definitely Man Yo or Man Go for Chad. Definitely Man No. I don't remember Man So-So. I might have to go back. In time. Did you make me clips, David? If you did, I'll use them from next week because I'm going to pay my bill so I can have the full StreamYard back. If you did send them to me, I'll have them in StreamYard still, but I can't actually see them at the moment because it's all locked. So yeah, that will actually help. Right. Can manned eye roll be part of the rating system? It can if you want it to be, man. Right. I'm working my way through. Oppo also thought it was a flashback, so there were 3 of us idiots who thought it was a flashback with that kid who looks nothing like Pedro Pascal. You're a lovely idiot, though, Oppo. I'm not. Glenn isn't either. But you're the best idiot of the 3 of us, Oppo. Right, Daniel said, Daniel Rigger over in Canada just got here, but wanted to say the episode was very meh. Pointless fighting in the beginning. Pointless in the sense, yeah, I don't know why they didn't just jetpack away, save the kid from the thing that can't fly in the sea. But it was still decent action. Why didn't they just, jetpack away from the monster, man? Jane thought Bo sulking in her castle was kind of silly. Maybe she had a soak in the bath afterwards. I don't know. Or a soak in her own tears. Don't do it, Matthew. I thought we'd moved on. Oppo says the captain of the ship reminded me of a prequel alien called Toonbook Dura. Let me Google Toonbook Dura. The thing is, because I haven't paid my bill, I can't even share my screen. Or can I share my screen? Let me have a look. This is who. Yeah. I can see that. This is who. Let me see if I can share the screen. Hang on a second. I think I can. Hang on. There you go. Toonbook Dora. I can see that. Just a lot less. Toonbook has shaved the seaweed off. If they were the same species. But yeah, pretty cool. There was a lot of silliness in this, like good silliness in this episode, including the captain of that ship. A lot of corniness. No, I have not finished Rebels yet. But I feel like I'm going to really have to now because it looks like all directions. It feels like Mando and I guess the Ahsoka series, are pulling in 2 different directions. One pulling me in the direction of needing to watch Rebels to fully enjoy and get everything. But also feels like we're heading towards Mando anyway has since second season felt like we're heading towards a lot of sequel trilogy connections as well. In regards to the captain of that ship, Chad says it reminded me of a green version of Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, I can see that. Was Bill Nighy involved? Did I miss a pun? I missed a pun. So I always miss puns, man. Sorry, Glenn, I missed your pun. I'm not going to go back and looking for it now. I missed it. Life moves on. Like the thing that we need to stop talking about, the other thing involving, not going to say it. So when are we going to see Mando realizing that the armorer leads a nasty cult? Yeah, I think that's going to happen. I think that could well happen this season. I think I'm right in saying that Favreau has said they've already written season 4 and that we might actually only be halfway through this story. And it kind of feels like after the Mandalore arc that we're on now, I don't really know what direction I'll go off into, obviously. We mentioned some sequel trilogy potential there. Yeah, that was cool. Gaz Nottingham says, I love the circular fade out transition on Captain Seaweed Face's face. Such a classic Star Wars fade. Padua Girl, this is in relation to the Purgils being up there, or even more so, I think you said, than Luke's appearance in Mando Season 2. I'm serious. I really loved Rebels, and the Purgils making it to live action was a great moment for me. Yeah, it's cool. No, I love that. The Cape Dragger droids, right? It was just wonderful, weird Star Wars. The little droids, was there 1 or 2, carrying the bottom of Grief's cape as he took the stairs to greet Mando. I thought that was great. Classic, silly Star Wars. 3 Idiots is a super good Bollywood film. Well, me, Oppo, and Glenn. Maybe I'm the bigger idiot because I missed Glenn's idiotic pun as well. I'm catching up. I'm quite behind on the lovely amount of comments here. There's like I'm not running out. Usually I run out. But equally, I don't feel like there's too many. I can keep up with this. I'm not going to get carpal tunnel from all the scrolling I'm currently doing. Scrolling. Guys, we're the 4 idiots then. I too foolishly fell for the flashback vibes. I think it was bad design. And Daniel says, it was really nice to see a new alien, though. Refreshing and cool design. Reminded me of Davy Jones. Seems to be a lot of love for Captain Seaweed Face. Matthew Stokes asked, Jamie, can't remember if I've asked, but are you back here for celebration? I can confirm I am back in the country for celebration. My celebration plans will be revealed very, very soon. You will hear first, Matthew. I will be posting it on Patreon. Yeah, it's all I can say at the moment. But yeah, I will be back in the country. That is for sure. So even if I'm not at the event, I'll be around and about. So if people are at the event, we should definitely try and do a meetup of some sort. But again, my plans will be revealed very, very soon. First of all, to you, Matthew, exclusively on Patreon and the connected Discord group. And then I will announce it publicly on the stream that follows. So yeah, it's a yes and no there. Yes, I'm back in the country. And yes and maybe, I guess. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking. Right, okay, about that. Bill Nighy, the science guy. I have actually run out of comments. No, I haven't, because Jones Capone is here now. That's Chad saying hello to Jones Capone, which is confirmation that Jones Capone is here. But here is Jones Capone. Hope you're doing well, my friends. Anders, we're the 5 idiots. Cinco idiotos. I thought it was a flashback as well until I saw Mando's Naboo starfighter. Exactly. Me too. Yeah. Let them know, man. Let them know. Are they working or are they on strike at the moment? I can't keep up. But yeah, let them know, or whoever's covering for them this week, or whatever week it will be. I'll land April 5th for anyone who really likes details at approximately, assuming there's no delays, 3 p.m. GMT. Oppo says, I was watching the episode together with my friend. He said it's not a flashback. Well, he knew he never got suckered in. Well, he's not an idiot. He's not in the band, which means he's not cool, because it's cool to be an idiot, all right? There's 5 of us, as far as we know so far. Daniel says, I was deciding whether or not it was a flashback, but then I thought the armorer couldn't be this old. Daniel is not an idiot. I would say well done you, but now I'm thinking the band is the place to be. All right, everybody, let's get some final comments in, because hey, it's 27 minutes in. Chad's stopped giving me time updates anyway, but I think I'm on top of this situation, to be honest. So let me just say there will be a Bad Batch episode batch drop very soon, and next week I don't think I'll be able to stream on the traditional Thursday slot for the Mandalorian, because I'm taking a couple of days vacation, going to the coast. For those who think I'm always on vacation, no, I'm not. And I'm not even going to take my laptop with me these 2 days, because I usually do, and then I end up working. So yeah, I think next week's stream might be on Saturday or Sunday. So keep an eye on that, because I get back Saturday early afternoon. So if there's no delays of the flight, I could do it then. But Sunday might be the safer option. And then the following week, which will be episode 3 of The Mandalorian, or this season, I'll be back to the Thursday slot again. So yeah. Oh, there's 6 of us. Dave Milano is also an idiot. Right. So there's the update on the schedule. So thank you very much for joining. Oh, scores! Of course there's something. Thank you, Matthew Stokes, for putting that in. It's a Mando from Matthew Stokes. Solid 8.1. Thanks to the Pergils. Get your scores in for The Mandalorian Chapter 17. Thank you, Matthew, for reminding me. I knew there was something missing. Something quite important. Ratings! Get your scores in. Is it a Mando? Is it a Mando or so-so, or a Mando? And give us your score out of 10 as well. I'm going to give it a... It's a Mando. It's a Mando. In terms of the score, it's a 7.5 from me. Good, solid opener. But in my opinion, the weakest of the 3 Mando season premieres so far. Padre Girl says, Bo-Katan's followers drifted away, but the armorer seems to have built up quite a following suddenly. Yeah, that is true. Scores coming in. Bad Batch 8. We will come to the Bad Batch. Patience, Glenn. The Mandalorian 7.5. Ooh, it's interesting to compare them though. 7.5 also from Chad. Oh, Chad, I haven't checked out your podcast. I normally listen to that before I do these, but didn't have time. But haven't also linked to it. But Chad's lunchtime special Star Wars podcast is back up and running if you want to check that out. And Chad also gives a higher score to the Bad Batch. It was sufficient for Peter. A 7, he thinks. Also a 7 for Pat from Power Droid Girl, a solid reintroduction. I think that's a fair way of summing it up. Gaz Nottingham says, going to give this episode a solid 8.5. I love the theme of old ways versus change. The parallels with chapter 1 were clever. Mando fighting a beast at the start, traveling to Navarro and seeing it now, how it's changed. Yeah. 7.5 for the episode from Dave Milano. Just a 10, just for life, having Mando back in your life, right? 7.5 also from Anders for the new Mando episode. Seeing the Purgil was a highlight. Did I read that out earlier? Somebody else said that. Anyway, a lot of people enjoyed seeing the Purgil. Sorry if I've reread your score, Anders. This is the lowest by far. It's a Mando from David McKay. It's a 4 out of 10. That is a low one. That is a low one. Although, I always say 5 is average, so this is just below average, so perhaps not too bad. It's a 7 out of 10 from Clays. I think we have another. Well, this is an average score, 5 being average. 5 from Daniel, and this is for seeing Bo-Katan in Grief back, but the initial fight felt forced. Back with the game quest to retrieve peace to rebuild IG. Yeah, but I'm giving, that's for me the downside of the Mandalorian. I'm with you on that, but I'm giving this episode the benefit of the doubt, because there was all sort of scene setting and time had to be spent, I guess, getting everybody up to speed, those who hadn't seen Book of Boba and what have you. We got an 8 out of 10 from Oppo. Star Wars Lunch Special, that's the proper name of the podcast. My podcast, in case you want to hear from me even more for some reason. Yeah, you don't. But if you have nothing better to do, or a weird Chad ranting fetish, then check it out. Right. I think everybody's got their scoring. I'll hang on for another. We've gone over 30. We failed because I forgot to do the scores and started talking about other things that weren't relevant, really. So I think we got all the scores in. 7.5 from me. We definitely had some 80s movie references. The stop motion from IG, crawling on the ground was pretty cool. There was a lot of corniness in this episode, and I have no problem with corniness. I have to say again, that's how to use your head, to paraphrase Din to the droid taking out IG. I think even the 80s would have rejected that corn. Anyway, did I miss you, Jane? I do miss you. I always miss you emotionally. In so many ways, in fact. An 8 out of 12 for Jane. Jane has her system. Too short and did not do enough to satisfy my Star Wars needs. I mean, we've complained in the past about Mando episodes being short, but it's definitely felt short for an opener, at least. But then we know where we're at. We know the characters, I guess. But hey, early days. And yeah, there were some really good practical effects in there. I agree with you, Daniel. Got busted. Very good. Okay, that's how we wrap up. I finally caught the pun. Very good, Glenn. Very good. All right. I will see you all at some point next week, probably over the weekend, to talk about The Mandalorian Chapter 18. I hope you all have a wonderful life and week, specifically. Hello there to the Monkey Legend. You're joining us just at the end. Rewind, travel back in time, and see us in the future next week to talk about the next one. But thank you for joining. And great to have the Mandalorian back. I think a good, solid opener. Obviously, I hope this is just the start of some even greater things to come. Have a lovely rest of the week. You know what to do. Start waving, everybody. Start waving and keep waving until it cuts out, all right? Because there's always an awkward delay. Here we go. I'm clicking in broadcast, which means I can't post all of the waving emojis.